Happy 2026, everybody.
Wow, here already. Can't believe it.
That went very quickly.
Feels like 2025 has just started, and how has it gone? And it's already into a new year, and I feel like Kathy and I have just started doing this podcast, really. And I know we've had a little bit of a break, people.
Mhm.
We know that, but Kathy started work full time, so we're trying to fit around a new schedule. And you know what happens in the winter period? There's illness and, all sorts of things going on, and being mums as well, having to cover all that. So we've had a little bit of a break, but we're excited to talk to you today. I'll
Very
hand over
much
to
so.
Kathy. Yeah.
And travel and yeah, it's been a lot, I think, for us and probably also for all of you. You've experienced many different things. But we thought about something, people have different takes on this. Coming into the new year, are there New Year resolutions? Are there certain goals that you're setting for yourselves? So we thought about the topic of starting off the new year well. What does that mean? And I think for us, we probably also want to share what is it that we do, and as always, to hear from all of you in the comments or feedback, what is it that you're doing to start off the new year well? So what does it mean to you, Lesley?
Always, years ago, it was always about having New Year's resolutions, going in there full on, starting the year strong and doing X, Y, and Z. And actually, I've been reading far more about the fact that we should still be sort of hibernating in the January. But I feel like because of the job I do, helping internationals find jobs, and it's a job search, you feel like you want to do as much as you can in January to get everyone ready for the busiest month, which is February. So I feel like that's what I should be doing. But actually, I'm now more thinking about how can I support people and also support myself and not go out there full on when we've just had this lovely break. And I do take a holiday, even though I work for myself, and just wanted to take a few weeks of just not answering emails, trying not to get on social media as much, although I have failed there. And that's one thing I have to look at this year. But just how can I start well and how can I motivate myself and others? So the last 3 years, I've had a word of the year. So last year was bold.
Mhm.
So what could I do that in my work life, personal life that bring boldness to my life? And that was a really good one for me last year because we started lots of new initiatives, both personally and in my business. And this year the word is strength because I want to be stronger in my mental health, stronger physically because I've let that go to waste. I know I talk about exercise, but I'm not Kathy. She actually lives what she talks. I haven't been the last 6 months, so that's got to get on track. And how can I be stronger in my business? How can I help more people? How can I do what I do much better, so people get jobs quicker? That type of thing. So I would encourage you to not get too stressed, even if you're job searching and you're stressed anyway because you're trying to look for that job and pay your bills. But think about a word that's going to help you get through this year. So think about a word that you can apply to all areas of your life. So with my job, it's a career coaching, but so I speak to job seekers really, but it's not just about that. But find a word that you're going to be able to have in all areas of your life. And then I'll share a little bit more about what I'm doing privately, as just to maybe encourage you as well. So, Kathy, what does it mean to you?
Love that, Leslie, by the way. I think that's I think that's a really nice way of maybe not doing New Year's resolutions, but having a focus on different levels of your life and different spheres and something that kind of calls you back, right? That word. I think that's really nice. I also do a lot of words. I usually have a couple different words, but the one I have for this year, so I'll share mine as well, is actually consistency. Because, as you said, yes, I do work out, I do a lot of things, but what I find is that the thing that always gives us results in fitness, in health, in work, in personal life, in relationships is actually consistency, right? So, and sometimes it's the little steps that we take. And so that we don't fall off the wagon in the sense of if we are planning to get more healthy, or it doesn't have to be huge things. So even if you don't have the best day with fitness, because we're talking about health, But you manage to, instead of having 5 cups of coffee, you only have three, and then you have 2 glasses of water. So practicing that consistency and how can I be better in the sense of taking care of myself and also others. So for me, that word is really important. That's my word for this year. And but starting off the new year well, I think for me has always meant that I really focus on myself in the beginning, but also throughout the year. So taking time for me. And that can be various things, right? It's different for all of us. And it's not always the same because the schedule is not always the same. As you mentioned, Leslea, we're moms, we're wives, we are business owners, we work with people. So schedules can change, things can go up and down. We are both in a beautiful age where we're also experiencing what we've talked about before is perimenopause. So
Yeah.
it's consistency is amazing, but it doesn't always come through. So we also have to be able to be resilient and to make things work. But starting off the year well, for me this year, it has been really focusing on health, on getting outside every single day. You don't have to run a marathon. You can go for a walk. It can be 15 minutes. But to make sure that you get outside, it also means to nourish myself inside and out. So taking care of myself with skincare routines, but also with meditation and journaling. So everything that I find is important to me, that's what I've been focused on. And there are different things that we have a need for. But I think the first thing would be tap into what it is that you're hearing, what it is that you feel you need more of. And an exercise I always do when I talk about well-being, what it is that you feel you need less of.
Oh, good one. Yeah. So instead of New Year's resolutions, which I always think people fail and feel miserable because they never do them. And I know when I was a smoker in my 20s, you know, terrible. But when I actually tried to stop, I don't know how many times I tried to stop. And then my birthday's on the 4th of January. So I'd always go out on the 4th of January and drink far too much wine and then have,
And
so,
smoke.
in smoke because that's what I did in that time. So I always failed. I actually ended up stopping smoking in the June of one year. That's how I stopped. I went completely cold turkey. So, I wouldn't have New Year's resolutions, but like Kathy's been saying, have something that works for you.
Hmm.
And I really do feel like, it's nice to set plans. I mean, I'm quite structured. I like planning. I like to be organized. It's just who I am. I like to tick boxes. I like to feel accomplishments. So sometimes when we sit now, spend the next couple of weeks just thinking, what do you want to achieve this year? Now, it might be a job, it might be a change in career. It might be starting your own business. It could be anything. You might be wanting to run a marathon. So, what do you need to do to achieve that? And then take a few steps back. Who can support you?
Hmm.
Honestly, that's one of the biggest things for me. If I'm dipping, which I do, I do winter bathing. If I didn't have the two ladies I dip with, I honestly wouldn't go really, very rarely, because I think, it's too cold. It's too wet. Or what if there's nobody there and you shouldn't dip on your own type of thing? So I wouldn't do it. But I always find if you have people with you who want to do the same thing, that's really going to encourage you. And it's also going to motivate you on the days when you don't want to do it. So whether it's exercise, going for a walk, just say, once a week you can say to somebody, why don't we do a long walk every Friday morning or every Monday morning? Do something like that so you meet somebody in the midway. So you know that you're going to let them down if you don't do it as well. So it's that type of thing. So think about what you need to do, what you want to do this year, and who you need to support you would be the first thing I'd talk about. What would you add to that, Kathy?
Very good. Um, I would add to that because we have the what. So, what is it that you want? Who do you need to support you with that? I would also add to that, why do you want that? But honest, be really honest and be very specific as to why do you want to go for that or achieve that? What's the reason behind it? And then you need to really kind of be very specific. How are you going to achieve it? I think a lot of us fail because we have great ideas. We want to do something, but we don't actually go into the how. We don't go into the
No.
detailed how. How will I do this? Because if we say, I want a job or I want to run a half marathon, it sounds good. Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it in the span of maybe 6 to 1 year. But if you don't have a specific plan,
No.
it's not likely that it will be very successful. You might do it, but I think there'll be a lot of challenges. So I think we need to be very, very specific as to how we want to achieve that and have a plan laid out. What do you think?
Definitely, because I'm doing the Royal Run. I think it's the end of May, beginning of June this year. My husband's a natural sporty person. He's a natural runner. He's very good at it. So for him, it's very natural for him to at least 3 times go running, plan. He doesn't even have to plan for a 10K. It's easy for him. It's
Mhm.
just a little walk in the park, to be honest. He would say not at his age, he's nearly 60. But I would say it's easy for him still. But for me, honestly, that's going to take a lot of effort because I am genuinely not a runner. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I have never done anything longer than 5K since I was 18. So when I was 18, I did a half marathon. And then since then, I've only done a 5K. So it's been a long time. Can I just say it's been a few years since I was 18. So it's going to take a lot. And I signed up for it last year, and I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed to say I didn't do it because I hadn't done any training. And I thought I'll be the slowest there. But actually, when I watched and waited for my friend to come, I saw so many people walking, even at the 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer. So actually, I could have just gone and done it. But I
Hmm.
was so embarrassed because I'm such a perfectionist, which I need to deal with as well. I didn't do it, and I'm thinking, do you know what? No, this year I'm going to put the effort in, and at least feel like I've made an effort. So even if it takes me 2 hours, do you know what? I don't care
It doesn't
as long as
matter.
I do it and have some fun because it's about having fun, right? As well, it's not about. I'm not going for an Ironman. I'm actually going to just do the Royal Run. So I thought that's my goal for the middle of the year and then see what else takes me. But I definitely need people to encourage me, help me, say, concentrate on your breathing, lift your knees up, whatever it is. So I'm going to try and find some of you I can do some training with this year just to give me a little bit of
Nice.
motivation and some help, really, and advice. My husband's lovely, but he actually gets a cramp because I run so slowly. So he can't.
And you know what? I don't know if that's the best thing. Like, I don't run well with my husband because we usually end up bickering or getting in a fight because he's trying to encourage me and it doesn't sound like it. So a lot of the time, I would say that spouses probably maybe are not the best to be the coach. I think it's better to do, for me at least, to do it with someone who's not, I'm not related to or married to, or so that works better. But that's really great. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's my goal. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I would need. So, do you have any goals this year in that sense, Kathy? Because you've run marathons, you've done half marathons, that type of thing, and I know you still run now. But do you need to have a race, or do you just naturally just want to just work on yourself? So for you, it's just a natural thing that you don't need a goal in a sense
I
to give
think
you
having a
motivation.
goal is always better. It's much more motivating because you also have a date. So you know
Yeah.
that there is something in the calendar that you're working towards. I think we can get sometimes a bit, sluggish or stretched out if we don't have such things because there's nothing there. We're just kind of doing it.
Yeah.
So definitely for me, having something in the calendar, being signed up for something is much more motivating. I usually do the women's run, at Fadamina. I like that one a lot. And that's usually in June.
Ah, okay.
We could do that.
We can do that. Yes.
What I'm working on currently, yeah, I used to run a lot of half marathons, and I've done one marathon, but I kind of fell out of love with long distance after having our daughter, and it was just time, I think, also because it's time consuming to train long distance. So I've been focused on short distance, but what I would like to do is to be much faster. So I'm setting a goal for myself to really become a faster runner in the short distance. So that's what I'm aiming for, and I think I'll sign up for that run. But I think we should sign up for that. That would be fun and
Yeah.
get more ladies to come along.
Yeah, we just get a little group. How far is it? Is it 5, 10K, or can you choose? What is it?
You can choose. There's 5K, there's 10K, which is two times. I don't
Right.
like loops. I don't like when you
Wow.
repeat something. And you can also walk it. And then you can also stay and you can order a lunch. So you can stay and have kind of a picnic and eat there afterwards and hang out. So it's really lovely. It's well organized. Uh, yeah.
Idea then. So if you'd like to join us, add your name in the comments and we'll try and organise something for a bit later on. So if you're walking, we'll try and create a little walking group, a 5K or a 10K, whoever wants to go full on. I'll probably have to do the 10K for the Royal Run. I probably only want to do a 5. But let's see, I might get the bug again and want to do a little bit further. But I think that's going to be that's my limit. But let's see. You never
Yeah.
know. You never
You
know.
never know. That's lovely.
Yeah, my former business partner was an Iron Man, and she'd always say, let's just go for something, and then we'll look at the distance later," trying to encourage me to step up. And I was like, I am never going to do that, love, but I'm here to support you on that endeavor because you're amazing. And she's a twice Iron Man now, so she's amazing. But there's no way I'd ever do that. But
I think we have to pick and choose, right?
we could choose what's right for us, and she's amazing. But yeah, and I've seen friends do it as well, and I love it. But I'm better as a supporter,
Yeah.
something that big. But yeah, but we can all do something small, even if it's walking. It's all good for us, right? And it just gives you a nice go for the start of the year. So we're going to think about physically. What could you do? Mentally, I've got to say that was a big battle for me last year. I suffer from anxiety. If you don't know me very well, um, and I can worry. I can really worry about stuff, and I'm trying to work on that. But I felt like that stopped me doing a lot of things last year, like swimming and just. And when you stop doing your exercise, actually you get a little bit more down, and then
Yeah.
you get down like you don't want to exercise, so you're in that horrible loop. So I was talking to my dipping ladies this morning, and we're trying to encourage. How can we encourage each other? Like having an accountability partner. So I'd love somebody at the end of the week to say, how many did you lift weights this week, Leslea? How far did you walk this week? Not to make me feel guilty, but just oh gosh, yeah, somebody's going to ask me. So maybe that's a little bit of I
Yeah.
just need to start doing it. And I'm not talking about depression. I know that's very, very different. So if you are depressed, that's not what I'm talking about. But for me, sometimes I really do struggle just to get the motivation and feel a little bit stressed. So, and I know that walking, exercise, fresh air, and for me, like Kathy and I've talked about so many times, the beach is our happy place.
Yes.
Water's my happy place. So if I'm not doing that, it's going to reflect on me. So I really want to do that a bit more. So think mentally what's going to help you.
Hmm.
Journaling helps. I mean, writing down how you feel, what's happening, those wins. I always talk to my clients about just write down a win. What was a win this week? Yeah, you
Hmm.
haven't got that job, but you know what? Who have you connected with that's going to help you? Did you get to an interview? What's motivated you? Did you see a post on LinkedIn? Did you meet somebody who really just made you feel inspired? It can be anything, but just have those little wins. It doesn't have to be huge. Honestly, I think with the role of social media, we're under this. Everyone's now, I've had the most amazing year, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, and New Year's happening. And you're just thinking, oh gosh, everyone's got it all together. And honestly, nobody has.
No,
Instagram's not real, it's not real life. It's just the best bits. But
edited.
yeah, the
And
rest of it
filtered.
behind it. Exactly. I agree. It's like if you don't view everyone's Instagram life, you know, like we said before, find somebody to support you, whether it's helping with your mental health, whether it's your physical, doing something sporty, whether it's a job search career, whatever it is, find a mentor, find somebody who's really good at something who you believe would be a good support for you, because I think that's always going to help. Yeah.
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 I think it's also good, I have a very simple tool that I always use when I do workshops or talks on this topic. If you're not big on journaling or you want to start, there are many ways of journaling. And I always say you don't need a fancy journal. You can just get a nice, clean notebook. If you like bullets, there are many of those available. If you like plain paper, that's also just find what works for you. And I would always encourage people to start with, which can seem weird and a little bit difficult in the beginning, but to do a check in with yourself. So you can start journaling in that way by asking yourself, how am I today? How am I feeling? You can also do like an energy level. How is my energy today? And you can go from there and you can build on it. But we don't really often do that. We ask everyone around us, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you? Are you okay? Are you good? What do you need?" How often do we ask ourselves, "How am I?" So that could be a good start. And
Yeah.
then you just write down whatever is there. You don't try to stifle it or filter it. I think a journal should be a place where you can just kind of it's not the nicest way of saying it, but you kind of do a dump of
Yeah.
whatever is in your headspace, in your heart, in your soul, and then you just get rid of it because it is actually a cleansing tool. When you write things out, you get rid of it. And then it's on paper, good and challenging. And you can always go back to it. And it's also a really good way to actually monitor how your well being is. If you see, for example, that for a couple of weeks now you've been down, that could be a big bell that can go off in our heads and say, okay, I need to go and see my doctor. Maybe I'm actually worse than I thought I was. So it is also a way to monitor ourselves. If we see we have ups and downs, okay, that can be normal. So really to be in tune with ourselves, it can be very helpful to have a writing journal where we just share with ourselves what's going on, how you're doing. I think it's really important. And what I find works really well for me, and I think it's also good with perfectionism, anxiety, is meditation.
Mhm.
And there are many apps, there are many different tools where you can start. I used to hate meditating. I thought meditation was a waste of time. It was taking me away from all my to-do things, my lists. Running has been a natural meditation for me and swimming. But when I actually started meditations I use Insight Timer. There's Calm. There are different ones. You can start with 3-minute meditations and then slowly build up. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be something where you sit in a room for 20, 30 minutes. I think a lot of us have this stereotype of meditation.
Yeah.
So again, you have meditation that is guided, you have meditation that is music, you have meditation that is nature sounds.
Mhm.
There are so many different types. Again, try it, see, experiment. Maybe there's something that will speak to you and you will find useful, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it's a great tool to be able to just bring ourselves back into a calmer version of us, especially when things are escalating.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good one because you're just going to start somewhere. And it might not be for you, and that's okay as well. All the different things that we're suggesting might not fit for you, might
Yeah,
not be part of who you are, but that's okay. We're just trying to give you ideas of what we know works for us. Um, and I think when I'm talking to lots of people, the one thing that people really do struggle with is overstimulation from social media and B, oh, everyone else has got it. Everyone else has got it sorted, which I've just said before. And you really do feel like you're comparing yourself. Never compare yourself to anyone else. And I say this to clients, never compare your job journey with somebody else
no,
because I have some clients who I think it'll never get, not they'll never get a job, it'll take them a while. And others I think, oh, for them, it's going to be like this. And it's sometimes the opposite. I'm thinking, what? But you never know because it's a right fit for a company, it's a right job for you. You never know who's out there and what they're looking for. So you can't compare your job journey with somebody else either. So never compare your fitness levels or whatever. Just try and think what works for you. Trial and error. It's always trial and error.
yeah,
I don't enjoy running. I don't know why I've even signed up for the roll run, but it's because it's something a little bit different.
yeah. And it's a
So,
challenge, right? You're
and
kind
it's
of
a
pushing
challenge.
yourself, yeah, out of the comfort zone.
Yeah,
Um, I think also we had a while back, and it goes with the topic we're talking about today about
mm,
motivation and also
yeah,
with well-being, but also with job search, right? How do you stay
yeah,
motivated, especially during
yeah,
this time of the year? Um, what I'm thinking of is all the things we've already mentioned. I think a way to stay motivated is to make sure that you have some routines and that there is a balance in your life. Because when we're job searching or when we've moved to a new country, things are out of balance.
yeah,
We don't feel fully like ourselves. A lot of times we will have a negative voice that is very loud, that is making us
Yeah.
feel not so well, not so positive, and it can be very difficult. So, having certain routines,
Yeah.
making sure that you're taking care of yourself is actually what will probably give you more energy and allow you to be more motivated. I also think it's okay to take some time off
Yeah.
from the job search. I don't think it's possible to sit every day for 5 days a week and
No.
look at job ads and apply and write motivational letters. It takes a lot of energy to do that. I think we need breaks. I think you need to
Yeah.
do things that you enjoy as well, little things. And as we said, it can be meeting up with someone for a walk and talk, having a coffee, enjoying, the outside world of Copenhagen, or if you're not in the city, the outskirts. Find something that you like, that you enjoy, and make sure that you're doing that. Don't eat your lunch or breakfast in front of the computer.
No, never.
Light a little candle, have a
Mhm.
lovely meal, even if you're on your own. Because for a lot of our listeners and people that we work with, that's the
Yeah.
reality, right? Their spouse or partner is at work. If they have a
Yeah.
family, kids, they're at school and they're alone. So make that enjoyable. Get out of the house. Go to the
Yeah.
library, do things there, work from there, go to a cafe, um, make a schedule so that you are not in the house every day. Put things in your calendar so that you're also
Yeah.
busy. So I think that keeps our motivation and connection. I know a lot of people are introverted, extroverted, in between, but the reality is also that when we connect with other people, we do get more motivated. As you said, we can have, be held accountable for what we're doing. We can have meetup groups. So again, it's something we're looking forward to. It's something in our calendar.
I did a post just before Christmas and I said, do you know what, do you know what I want to motivate you to say? I just want you to close your laptop. And I just said, if you're job seeking, just walk away from the desk, walk away from your lap and take the day off. And I got so many in messages saying, thank you for posting that. I was feeling guilty. Like people would say, oh, how many jobs have you applied for this week? What have you done today? And you're under all this pressure, maybe from a partner or spouse thinking, well, why can't you get a job? I've got one,
Yeah.
as if it's simple. And we know it's not for you. And they just said, thank you for just giving me permission
Yeah.
to close my laptop. And I get it because I was there. I've been there,
Mhm.
I've done that, and I know how hard it is. So sometimes you just got to look after yourself. And if that means walking away, shut that laptop, close your phone, and go off, that's what you got to go and do. And especially in a month when it's really quite dark. And January's a bit like, oh, the Christmas lights all go, Tivoli's closed for a bit longer. And you think, oh God, there's nothing pretty out there. The weather might get really bad. It's gorgeous today, but not always. You've got to find something that's going to keep you motivated and happy in a way that, not about what's your external factors, but something that's that inner joy that's going to keep you going, keep you motivated to start the year well. So physical, mental, whatever it is,
Mhm.
just really think about yourself, like Kathy said, because it's a bit like when you're on the plane. What do they say? Put the mask on you first, don't they? Because you
Yes.
can't help somebody else. And honestly, you've got to put that oxygen mask on yourself first and look after you, and then you can help everyone else around you, and then you're going to have the energy for everyone else.
Yeah.
So try and do that. So start the year well in that way. Yeah. What else would you add, Kathy? Anything?
I
What
think,
plans do you
just,
have? Sorry, I was about
yeah,
to say, what plans do you have? Do you have anything that you're thinking, do you know, this is what I'm going to do this month? Have you got anything that you're thinking yourself? You've got your word or words that you're working on?
yeah. No, I have, I think what I've learned is that that's why the word is also consistency. Doing a bit every day will get you to that goal, whatever that is, in whatever sphere of your life.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes we think, oh, I'll have a day where I just sit and apply, or I'll have a day where I'm just working out, or I'll take care of myself. It won't work. I've
Yeah.
done that. So, but when you do a little bit And so when we say, take care of you, and then you think, oh, yeah, take care of me, and then I have to apply for jobs, and then I have a family, and I have a house that I need to take care of. How do I do all of this? Well, then you do little bits,
Yeah.
and then it all adds up, right? So no, you don't have to cold plunge and meditate and journal and go running and do all the things. You can take a little bit. You can also do shorter stints of it, That's also okay. So for me, my plan is also to read more in the sense of finishing my books. I have a lot of books I've started, and now I'm thinking I need to finish these books. So I'm reading every day, but I'm reading for about 15 to 20 minutes. It's not that I'm going to sit all day and read because then I wouldn't get anything else done.
No,
So
exactly.
be realistic. And I think the key is what we both keep repeating. You need to look at your life where you're at currently, what fits with your life, with your
Mm.
lifestyle, whatever the family dynamic is, and then go from there because it changes. It's never the same, right? We have little
No.
kids, then they get older, then they get big, then they move out. And so life changes in that sense. Same with our relationships, same with the health
Yeah.
journey, all of it. We need different things. So we need to really, first and foremost, I think, just take a look at what it is. Where am I right now? How can I make things work for me? So that we don't have that negative voice saying, "Oh, you failed once again," right?
Yeah.
And my plan is just to execute those things in that way and work towards goals like, be more fit, be stronger, eat more healthy, even more healthy than we're already eating, because I'm always
Yeah.
looking at optimizing.
Yeah.
Nurturing relationships. I think for me, it's important also. I was thinking about that, spending more time with friends, with my girls.
Yeah.
I haven't had
Yeah.
time for that. You know that I've said, oh,
Yeah.
this happened or that happened. It's
Yeah.
really important. We need to do things for ourselves, even though it may feel sometimes selfish. But in the end, again, it's that mask
Yeah.
again. It's the oxygen mask. If
Yeah.
I'm spending time with my girls, and again, it doesn't have to be hours on end,
No.
but I'm also happier. So I come home, I have more energy, I'm in a good mood, so I can give more to people around me, right? To the tasks that
Yeah.
are waiting for me. So it all comes together if you look at it from, a different perspective.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. That's really good. So we hope you've heard a few things that maybe would inspire you, motivate you, help you to start this year well. And it doesn't have to mean, going like a train and 100 miles an hour. You don't have to do that. Don't listen to social media. Don't think you have to do a detox. Honestly, the body does a very natural job of that, by the way. But just think about what's going to help you. Start your year well, and we're here for you. Drop any ideas in the comments that you think you can add to it because we'd love to hear what you're doing as well, and it will inspire other people in the thread. But follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, and anything you want us to talk about, we're always ready and open. Or if you think anyone should be a guest on here, we'd love to have guests as well, and we'll be looking at that
Yes,
this year as well. We've got a few ideas going that way. So have a great January, everyone, and it's been a little break from us, but we're back.
we're
And
back.
we've got some good plans for this year and hopefully sharing information that's going to really help you. So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Take care.